What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Alright, so I decided to do something nice. And I'm going to tell you guys about this set that's overlooked that came out. And it's Kim Marcher's Cruelty. Now, it's kind of interesting about this set because when you deal direct damage, you apply 1 of 5 random major debuffs to an enemy within 8 meters of you for 18 seconds. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. Now, it's very important that we're reading that correctly. Because if you can time things down, ideally you can get two debuffs, but you can potentially get a third before the cycle, right? I'll show that to you guys in a second. But you can get a major breach, major cowardice, major defile, major maim, and of course, major vulnerability. Now, it's important to understand what the major vulnerability debuff icon looks like. So we build up, and I'm going to show this to you guys. So you guys know what that icon looks like now, right? You guys see what it looks like. Let it go away. Now, the biggest thing is, can you get 2 abilities, two of them to proc within the time? Remember, it takes every 8 seconds, right? So imagine as a tank, we're here. There's a debuff. There's the second. There's the major vulnerability. Now it has to be direct damage, but you'll see that one reset. So basically, the idea how to do this in a trial scenario is to trick the system into having 2 tanks to keep applying the debuffs to the target. Now for example, I have a necro tank. So currently I'm using Yokelin. You know, right? But we already know that you can use Saxiel on a necro. We can use Saxiel on necros. So imagine if you had a necro off tank and a necro healer or necro DPS. It doesn't matter. As soon as that debuff falls, the major vulnerability, guess what you do? You apply the ulti. Then if you use on the tank, now obviously I would take the taunt off, but if you were to use like decisive, you generate additional ultimate on top of using a slotted ability like necrotic potency. You're going to get 6 ultimate when you use this ability, right? So imagine I'm using Behemoth. I mean, I don't have to use Behemoth, but imagine I'm, proccing it with the flame, right? So we get that buff, or our group gets that buff, right? Now I can go ahead here with Decisive, generate more ultimate for what? A faster uptime towards, generating the Colossus. Same thing with the healer. Using a decisive front bar, on your whatever, slotting this to generate, basically. As you're generating ultimate, you can work in tangent with the downtime of the set. Now we gotta wait so many seconds. Now we got 2. And if there was a second tank, we would be applying all the debuffs in tangent. So think of like static sets, right? So both tanks would use this set as static. The only difference of it is the other tank wouldn't be taunting. That's it. If both tanks are using both sets and the debuffs are being applied by both tanks, you can get 4 debuffs in during the rotation. And when the major vulnerability isn't apparent, you drop the ulti. And you just keep going. That's what you do. Well, if I can... Well, Windows isn't working. Oh, no. Oh, shit balls. Why isn't my Windows working? Windows button working. I can't even see if I'm streaming. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Zoss, what the fuck? My keyboard could die. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Just a delay. Lag. Yo, Pikachu, what's up? What's up? How you doing? But anyways, yeah. So there it is. So imagine, like, if I was the off tank. Right? I wouldn't need Yokelin. Right? I wouldn't. I would just be like, okay, cool. You know, I'm not the main tank. So, and just, you know, they're using it anyway. So we go under... And we grab, you know, the Sax Hill. Right? And then we slot it. That's about it. That's it. That's all. That's all she wrote. Now. I need jewelry. Now we go back up here. Anyhow, so we say, oh, okay, you're not the main tank. I could switch out monster sets, whatever. Now, I would prefer the main tank using, guess what? You know, another monster set. Let the off tank do this. That's my opinion. In my opinion. Okay. Now, I would never put this on a main tank. I wouldn't. I would never use this set like on, you know, I mean, unless it, you know, whatever, but I would only use this set, this specific set on Necro. I would never put this on any other tank other than a Necro. Why? Because of the ultimate. It's literally pointless to put it on any other tank or whatever. Anything other than a Necro, I wouldn't even bother. And it has the AoE effect. So all the debuffs are going to be whatever. It's going to be applied to the entire group. I'm just trying to do. So see, we don't have it. We drop it. And we're going to get all those debuffs. Alright. So when you run it in tangent with another tank, you're going to be able to get all these debuffs running up, as long as it's direct damage. And for some reason, I don't think the bones is coming up as direct. I could be wrong, but let's let this drop off. So I only have it backbarred, the set, on the Frost Staff. So think of it like, you know, Powerful Assault in that essence. But so basically, I don't think this has been registering. We'll see. I see it's not. Blast Bones is for some reason not. And Wall isn't either. So you need a form of direct damage to apply. Now Inner Fire does. Or a light attack. Light attacks will work too. Did I get rid of an extra piece? I don't think I did. I did. Hold on. Okay, that's why. Okay, let me try that again. Yeah, I don't think Blast Bones is counting as a direct damage. It isn't. And Wall isn't either. Now, Inner Fire does. And so does Light Attacks. And there you see the major vulnerability. So when you have two tanks running direct damage effects, you can keep 4 up at all times on target. That's the idea. Now, I think Flame Skull does, so if you were going to use this with an off tank, and let's say whatever... So let's say I replace the Blast Bones. And see, that works. Blast Bones and Wall doesn't work, though. But you can keep up to almost 3. With 2 tanks, you can cycle vulnerability constantly. Constantly. When it drops, then you would go ahead, use the ultimate, and then we get the refresh. See? Between 2 tanks, using this as a proc set to apply the debuffs, and to use one, at least one Necro with Saxiel, one, you would be able to keep it up 100% of uptime. And I would only put this on a Necro. It's pointless putting it on. To me, the shit's set in comparison to traditional Warhorn. Why? Simple. And you'll be able to keep Warhorn up 100% of the time, too. You know, well, not Warhorn, aggressive, Major Force. You'll be able to keep Major Force up 100% of the time with somebody running this set and Tangent. So, why? Because if the only reason I don't like this in conjunction is this does give the Major Force buff, but when we take a look at the skill of aggressive Warhorn, we get major buff plus we get max scaling by 10%. So that's a decrease in base damage, and base damage is also a contributing factor towards what? Critical damage output for base. And that's why I don't like Saxiel in essence of saying, oh, it's a best in slot item. It's like, it does give major force, but it doesn't give max scaling. So depending on how damage is scaled for that class, and that's the factor, you could be losing damage. A lot of it, significant. So, but to run 2 tanks with this new set that just gets overlooked, oh yeah, we'll use this set, but we'll ignore this set. That's the problem, because there's only 5 buffs, and you can apply 2 within the duration. So if you have 2 tanks running it, you can have 4 of the debuffs applied at all times. So that's the idea. I'll get rid of the wall, so whatever. But you can have 2 debuffs up, potentially 3, as long as they're not having to block. But if you can block cancel it, there's a block cancel with flame. There's 3. Oh no, that's the flame for Behemoth, I think. There's a vulnerability. See what I'm saying? You can literally keep two of the debuffs up. Well, if I quit running out of magic, and your major vulnerability will be up a shitload. There you guys have it. Disappointed. I'm so disappointed. Like I said, the main tank would just still use like Yol, but in the off tank, this is where I would probably slot a Necro off tank. I would, and I would run them in sacks, behemoths, and I would probably, I mean, behemoth, sacks, and marchers. So I would run these two sets on the off tank. And the monster set depends. You could swap, you know, appropriately. But yeah. Back bar it. That's it. That's all. That's all she wrote, boys and girls. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. How does that happen? How? How do you let Mystic Raven come in and do it again to you guys? Now, would they use it? I don't know. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'm not really like, oh my god, it's so meta. I don't give a fuck if they use it or not. Personally, the wannabe elitists who think they're just God's gift to everything can kiss my ass. Because you shouldn't listen to this video at all. You should definitely not listen to this video. But would I put Saxiel on anything other than a Necro? Fuck no. Would I put it on a Necro for the case in point of just using that ultimate? Yeah. Yeah. Just for the point of keeping major force up 100% of the time and major vulnerability pretty close to 100%. With 2 tanks? I don't know. I don't know. It would be close. It would be like 90-something%. You'd have like a little perks of off time because of the cycle system, but it'd be damn close. So to have both tanks running that as a proc up, yeah, absolutely. But it has to be direct. Can you like Wall's not gonna do it? Inner Fire will, and of course Flame Skull. And of course, direct damage. Once you have the more people have the debuffs up, I mean, there is a chance that it recycles. But the more of the debuffs you have up from the set procs from both tanks, the more likely you're going to get the debuff, the desired debuff, by having both tanks run it. That's the point. Having both tanks and Tangent running it to the point where it's becoming, and like I said, you know, off time, it's like it's down, put it up, we got so many seconds. And you can just keep cycling that. There it goes again. So we just got one, procced it back up. So you get the idea. You're just keeping the debuffs up constantly. There you have it. There you go. Anyway, don't listen to me, and you might want, I don't know. Just thought. Peace out!